Great. Thank you. So now that we've selected record, I'm going to invite you to lie back on your mat. But I'll suggest that the brick that you have somewhere within reach so that you can easily take hold of it so that we don't have to sit up and roll back down again. So for now, I'm going to suggest that we keep the knees bent. That will create a little bit of space through the back of the hips. It will allow the small of the back to soften and release. And perhaps think about turning the palms up towards the ceiling, just so that we can widen through the collarbones and soften the flats of the shoulder blades to the floor. Your choice if you want to adjust to take the feet or the arms any wider. Remember, this is your practice, you're in your own space, so you can make it as comfortable for yourself as you wish. Remind yourself to unclench the jaw, to soften the eyebrows, to relax the tongue in the well of the mouth. So I regularly cue you to relax the tongue in the well of the mouth as a reminder that when we have the tongue rammed to the roof of the mouth, that tends to indicate that we're holding a lot of tension. So that little reminder to soften the tongue. If the eyes are closed, to almost imagine that the eyes are rolling backward away from the eyelids, so that you get a sense that you're pulling and drawing your focus into a deeper part of you. Become aware of the breath. And as you slow the breath down, deepening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation, allow that inward focus to expand on the inhalation, to settle on the exhalation. A sense of widening and expanding to fill the space that surrounds you. Softening and releasing to fill the space beneath you. You want to feel a sense of letting go. Notice the position of the chin, perhaps drawing the chin a little closer to the chest if you feel the back of the neck is lifted. Notice the weight of your arms by your side. Soften the elbows. Mindfully allow the full weight of the spine to become heavy and sink a little more deeply into the floor. Relax through the back of the hips. And I'm going to take a moment here to extend the right leg forward, keeping that left knee bent. Just rolling that right toe out towards the side, gently opening into the inner thigh, bringing that toe all the way back to center and then in a little more, almost as though you're setting off a windscreen wiper in the right foot. So we're just gently finding a little space in and around that hip socket. Bring the toe back again to center. Inhale to point that right toe. Exhale to bring it to full flexion. Inhale to point. Exhale to flex. Press a little more through the heel so that we're lengthening through the back of the leg. So we're pushing that foot in flexion, really drawing a stretch to the back of the leg. Then as you exhale, hug that right knee in towards the chest. So the left leg remains lengthened on the mat as we apply a little pressure to the right knee. Inhale now to lift and lengthen the arms overhead. So full body stretch here, resting the backs of the hands, the backs of the heels an inch from the floor. As you exhale, draw the toes in to make flexion. Bring the fingers into the palms to make fists. Gently squeeze the shoulders down away from the ears, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting the kneecaps up towards the thighs, squeezing the buttocks. Imagine drawing the tummy muscles in, holding tension here in the center of the body. Then on the next out breath, soften, relax, let all of that go. Let the arms and legs release. Now we'll reset that right knee to be bent. We'll reposition the hands either side of the hips. And then we'll just do that little windscreen wiper action simply on the left foot. So we're gently rolling through the heel, through the ankle, finding a little space into the hip socket, into the inner thigh. Inhaling to point through the left toe, exhaling to flex. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. We're remaining in flexion as we push through the heel, deepening the stretch into the calf. Then on the out breath, bend that left knee, hug the knee in towards the chest. Let's draw the right knee in. So we have both knees drawn in towards the chest. We're spending a little moment here pressing onto the shins or into the back of the thighs so that we can roll the small of the back to the floor. Feel the connection through the back of the head, through the back of the shoulders. Gently roll through the back of the head, bringing the right ear parallel to the floor. Come back to centre. Bring the left ear parallel to the floor. In again to centre. Then gently roll through the back, over the back of the hips, over the back of the shoulders, gently rocking from one side to the other. Feels like a gentle massaging action. As you return again to centre, reposition the hands onto the knees. We'll use the knees now to draw circles. So again, we're into that hip socket. Change direction, take the circles the opposite way. Again, bringing the knees back to centre. Another little hug, drawing the small of the back off the floor. Then reset both feet on the mat. So rather than jumping into a bridge pose, I'm going to at this point invite you to take hold of your brick, and we're going to use the brick in its flattest or lowest setting. So that means that the smallest part is the part that's facing forward. Push into the soles of the feet and just gently slide that brick underneath the bottom. So placement is everything in this posture. What we want to avoid is pushing the brick so far up that we feel it in the lower back, or pushing it so far down that we can feel the tailbone dig in. So usually a good place to aim for is that flat bone above the bottom, and just give it a little wiggle, make sure that you feel secure. So again, we're going to keep the left knee bent. First action is extending the right leg forward, resting that foot on the floor. And again, you can slowly do that windscreen wiper action. So when we did this laying on the floor, there wasn't a lot, it was quite subtle, but now you start to feel a little bit more resistance, generally in the lower back and into the hip flexor. Bring that foot back to centre, slide the right knee in, extend the left leg forward. So let that left heel become heavy, and again, do that gentle windscreen wiper action. Bring the toe back again to centre. Then extend both legs forward. So right heel, left heel forward. Unclench the buttocks. Relax the feet, relax the ankles. And just feel that added lift in the lower back. So for most of us, there's a little bit of resistance happening right at that space at the lower back. Often we feel there's a little bit of tightness across the front of the hips. We're not going to worry about it, we're just going to notice it and mindfully relax into it. So rather than clenching the buttocks or lifting the weight from the brick, let the breath take you a little deeper into this space. So as a contrary to what I said earlier about positioning the tongue, we're going to do a little bit of Ujjayi breath in this position. I'm going to use the tongue into the roof of the mouth today, just to change how we do Ujjayi breath. So for a reminder, Ujjayi breath is the one that's a little bit noisy. It's almost like you're fogging up a mirror, so you kind of get that sense of tightening the back of the throat on the breath out. So typically we breathe in through the nose. Usually we breathe out through the mouth to make that steam iron sound. Now I want you to this time place the tongue into the roof of the mouth And rather than open the mouth, we're going to make that same action, but only through the nose. So tongue to the roof of the mouth, deep breath in, exhale, push that breath out, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One last time, deep breath in, pushing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, long breath out. Then relax the tongue again, back to the well of the mouth. Allow the lips to part, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, nice and gentle. And just notice that this area on the lower back has become a little quieter now. So let's bend the knees, drawing the feet in, placing the pressure into the soles of the feet to lift the bottom off the mat. And then you're going to turn that brick up so that instead of lying on the flattest part, you're making it one step higher. So not all the way high, we're still having the wide part of the brick underneath the sacrum, the flat bone above the bottom. Now take a moment to make sure you adjust to make this as flush as possible. If you find that your brick is in an angle, it will just start to dig into you, you'll feel uncomfortable. So keep the left knee bent for now, extend the right foot forward. No windscreen wiper action this time, because you'll notice that this feels a little bit more intense. There's a little bit more reluctance to let go. So just allow that left knee to drift a little wider. Soften the weight at the back of the hips into the brick. Unclench the button. The button? The buttocks. Don't know where I get that word from. Now bring that left knee back to centre again, slide the right foot in, extend the left leg forward. So we're just doing the same, we're just letting ourselves to become heavy, a little more released. Nudging that right knee open can sometimes help to just keep the hips feel square. Then again, we'll slide that left knee in and we're just going to set the knees hip width apart. On the next out breath, slide the right foot forward, slide the left foot forward, let both legs extend, let that space in the hip flexors release. And again, don't back away from, lean into that opening that's happening in the lower back. We good? Excellent. Let's just change the arm position. So let's practice that T-shaped position. Arms are wide, palms turned up towards the ceiling, resting into the flats of the shoulder blades, resting the back of the head. And again, we'll just practice rolling through the back of the head, bringing one ear parallel to the floor, coming back to centre, then bringing the opposite ear parallel to the floor. Bring the head back again to centre. Reposition the hands either side of the hips, drawing the shoulder blades together. Slide the feet in, push into the soles of the feet. We're lifting the bottom clean off the brick now. I'm going to invite you to take that brick away from underneath your hips. And I want you to now set the knees in line with the hips. Press through the shins, lift the thighs higher, and encourage even more opening into the hip flexors. On an inhale, lift the arms overhead, resting the backs of the hands on the floor. And we'll just challenge that little lift in the thighs by pressing the shins further forward, lifting the sternum towards the chin, opening through the front of the body. As you exhale, start at the space between the shoulder blades and gently roll down through the spine. When you reach the spot round about where your bra strap is, lift the arms up and over, bring them either side of the hips, keep travelling down through the spine and take your time enjoying that release. So we've created so much more space in the lower back. So let's enjoy that slow release. It almost feels as though you're falling into the floor. Even deeper. Unclench. Relax. Now bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to release wide. And just taking the tension, or the work, should I say, the attention, away from the hip flexors into the inner thighs. And just gently expanding and widening into this space. As you inhale, widen the arms to create that T shape again. As you exhale, bring the fingertips in towards the palms to make fists, thumbs pointing up. Inhale again to widen through the collarbones. Exhale, draw the tummy button in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So there's an exaggerated lift in the lower back, and we're sliding the heels a little closer to the groin, allowing gravity to deepen the stretch between the knees into the inner thighs. Take care not to clench the buttocks here. Relax the jaw. Then as you exhale, draw the tummy button in, slide the thighs towards one another, reset both feet on the mat, reposition the hands either side of the hips, melt the upper body back to the floor. As you inhale, lift and lengthen through the right leg. As you exhale, draw that right toe towards the shin. So we're relaxed through the upper body, the head is rested, inhaling to point, exhaling to flex. Inhale to point, exhale to flex and press through the heel, ironing out that little bend in the knee. Using the big toe now to draw 3 circles in towards the midline of the body. Changing direction, taking those circles the opposite way. Point through the toe. Come once more to flexion, press through the heel. Try not to pull the face. On the out breath, draw that right knee in towards the chest. Doesn't that feel luscious in the middle back? Then replace that foot to the floor. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the left leg. So it feels kind of tight in the buttocks when we do this lift. That's why we're gently going to work through the ankle, pointing and flexing. And every time you come to flexion, just remind yourself to push a little more keenly through the heel. Iron out the bend in the knee. We want to almost get that leg straight. Then from this next flexion position, use the big toe to draw 3 circles in. Take 3 circles out. Try not to hold the breath. Point through the toe. Come again to flexion. Then bend that left knee in. Deeply joyful. Lower back, middle back. I'm just going to, in this position, pop that left ankle on top of the right thigh. So it's just above the knee. Make sure we roll the left knee in so that it's lining up with the sternum or the nose. We don't want it rolling out to the edge. As you exhale, draw the tummy button in, push the lower back to the floor. As you inhale, lift the right knee. On the next out breath, squeeze that knee in a little deeper. Because we had inner thigh stretch, this is now balancing out, giving us a little outer thigh stretch. Then as you exhale, replace that right foot to the floor, unhook the left. We'll balance by doing the same on the other side. Don't forget to reset the right knee, rolling it in. Exhale, push the lower back to the floor. Inhale, lift the left knee. Exhale, squeeze that knee in, deepening the stretch to the outside of the hip. Relaxing in the upper body. Breathing deeply. Then replace that left foot to the floor. Take the feet a little wider now. So it's a nice idea to almost like feel the edges of your mat under the feet. The knees will follow the line that your feet make. So don't let the knees roll in. Widen again to that T-shaped position. As you exhale, Take both knees over to the right side and just let gravity draw the knees towards the floor. Chances are you might get the outside knee to the mat, the left knee might still be hanging around midair. Again, we feel this in the front of the hip flexor. Inhale to widen through the hands. Exhale to draw the tummy button in. Roll the knees through centre and take those knees over to the opposite side. Beautiful. For most of us, there's one side that feels a little tighter than the other. So it might be that there's a little bit more tension happening. If you notice the buttock is lifted from the floor, that's usually a sign that that side is a little tighter. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, it's just something to notice. As you exhale, engage the core, draw the knees back again to centre. We're going to now pick the feet up off the floor, positioning the knees directly above the hips, switching the toes on, so pointing the toes up, having the feet in flexion. So you know from your practice whether your preference is to have the knees slightly closer, which rounds the lower back to the floor, or to take the knees slightly further away to activate the core muscles. Remember, the further you take the feet away, the more you're encouraging the core to work, and the more those small muscles that support the spine kick in to help. Bring the hands straight above the shoulders. Find that sweet spot where you're just on the edge of discomfort. Fingers are relaxed, shoulders are flat to the floor. Focus again on your breath. So rather than grabbing at the breath, direct the breath down to the thighs, cool the thighs down. Keep that core engagement. Every out breath, drawing the tummy button in, pushing the lower back to the floor, keeping the lower back nicely secure and safe. On the next exhale, keep the heels where they are, slide the arms back, rest the thumbs an inch from the floor. Inhale to widen through the chest. Exhale, draw the tummy button in, pushing the lower back to the mat. One further full breath rotation. Then as you come to the next out breath, slide the hands back again to that shoulder level. Exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. I think we're ready for that. Now widen the arms, we're back to that T shape. We've drawn the knees a little closer to the chest. We don't need the hands to hold the legs. As we exhale, we're going to peel the left hip from the floor, roll the knees over to the right side, and the action now is to keep the left shoulder stuck to the floor. So it might help you to look over the length of the left arm. On an out breath, smooth that left shoulder to the floor. So we're starting to open into the side of the rib cage, into the underarm, opening into those pectoral muscles. We've created plenty of space around the outside of the hips, so I'm not worried about what's going on in the lower body. I want you to really focus on that opening happening in the upper body. Visualize a widening when you inhale from fingertip to fingertip. As you exhale, draw the tummy button in, roll the knees through centre. As we take the knees to the opposite side, you're going to shift your head to look over the right arm. And again, this is a point where you might notice that one side felt a little easier than the other. Breathing into the side of the rib cage, expanding into those pectoral muscles, softening that right shoulder to the floor. Then as you exhale, engage the core, roll the knees back again through centre. Bring the hands onto the knees, and we'll draw a little figure of 8 with the knees, so we get that sense of massaging over the sacrum into the lower back and returning again to centre. Then replace the feet to the floor. So we're going to use our brick again If you think that it will be easier for you to see what's going on sitting up momentarily, then of course you can do that. Otherwise, you can trust my words, just to know where we need to put the brick this time. So we're going to position the brick again on its flattest setting, and it's going to go between the shoulder blades. So try not to run at the length of your spine, try and keep it wide. And the reason I suggested having a second brick or perhaps a cushion is because it might be a little bit extreme to begin with to lift the shoulders from the floor. So my preferred way of doing it is to place my brick first, to then adjust to bring the flats of the shoulder blades onto the space. I've got that second brick in place just to support the back of my neck. What I would say is, for those of us who are a little larger in the upper body, we tend to curve the spine forward a lot more. We tend to carry the weight of our bust a lot more through curvature in the spine. So this feels quite extreme. You can shuffle so that you don't feel this in the lower back. Where you want to feel the weight is that, again, sinking feeling across the flats of the shoulder blades, widening the arms into a T shape. I'm going to now take the brick away from under my head because I know that that's where the magic lies. You'll notice now bringing the back of the head to the floor feels very extreme. It will help to keep the knees bent. That'll just support the lower back. Some of you will be fine, but most of us, it's too big a curve in the spine. And I'm not going to pretend it's comfortable. I'm just going to let you know that this is a great posture for opening the heart space, for finding that little bit of release between the flats of the shoulder blades. Again, focusing on the breath. And if you don't enjoy the head tipping back, that opening of the throat chakra, then by all means just pop a brick or a cushion underneath so that it feels like a more natural shape for you. Try not to lift the shoulders to the ears, try to relax the shoulders away. And then, so that we can feel the benefit of this posture, I'm just going to get you to bring your elbows in either side of the rib cage. So you're pushing into your elbows to lift your upper body weight up. You're sliding the brick from underneath. Then start at the space from the lower spine and gently roll back again towards the floor. In much the same ways we did when you had the brick under the shoulders, we get a sense that the upper back now is expanding and widening, that we've created space through the chest. And one more time, we're just going to extend the legs forward, the back's no longer at risk. And just take that lovely long release. This is what Shavasana pose should feel like. More often than not, there's usually a bit of compromise. Inhale to lift the arms overhead. Take a long stretch pointing through fingers and toes. Exhale, draw the tummy button in. Take the hands behind the thighs, lift yourself up and come into a boat position. So remember, in boat, we're trying not to hang around on the tailbone, we're on the sit bones, we're lifting through the sternum. We can take the hands away from the back of the knees. Line up the hands just above the shins in line with the knees, shoulders rolled back and down. On an inhale, lift the arms up overhead. On an exhale, widen. Tummies might be jumping now, that's good, that means we're doing the right thing. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together, create an Anjali Mudra, push through the fingertips. Feel the ears between the upper arms. Extend the right heel forward, keep that left knee bent. Bring that right knee back in, extend the left heel forward. Come back in. Oh, cramp in my foot. Grab hold behind the thighs, draw the soles of the feet together. Lift up and lengthen, then as you exhale, hinge forward. Every out breath coming a little deeper into this posture, keeping the shoulders relaxed, drawing the shoulder blades together. Then inhaling to lift, 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 coming back to centre. Perfect. That was a bit cruel. I had you all nice and floaty light. And then I said, quick, get up, throw yourself into boat. Can we please come into a cross-leg position? And if you're feeling any tension in the knees, if the hips still feel a little bit imbalanced, you can always use your brick to sit on. Just takes the hips a little higher than the knees. Beautiful. So actually, I'm just going to take a little bit of time to set up Sukhasana pose. So if you bring the left heel in towards the groin, and I want you to almost feel that heel just right in front of you there. Then draw the right heel in front of the left ankle. So you can see now that my feet are stacked one on top of the other, rather than that cross-leg pose, which tends to keep the knees up in the air. I appreciate that it's not within everyone's gift, but I just want us to try opening up a little wider into this space. For those of you who do enjoy this posture, I'm just going to give you one extra step just to take it a little deeper. You can lift that right foot up and place it on top of the left thigh, and we come into the half lotus position. I can't see everyone's legs. I'm going to assume that no one wants a full lotus position. There's a lot of nah, thanks for the offer, but nah. Beautiful. Okay, so let's come back to the first one we did, Sadasana. So heels in alignment. There is a moment actually where you can lift yourself up and almost sit back on the heels. I can't do that anymore. Can't quite get that in. Oh, and Miriam's sitting in full lotus now. Thank you for showing off. You can just come into Sadasana now. Beautiful. So lift up and lengthen out of the sit bones. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. As you exhale, we're going to start a little walk forward. But remember, this isn't really about the walk. It's not about where you place your hands, because that will just lift the shoulders. So maybe think about bringing the elbows towards the floor. So perhaps the target is that you're bringing the forearms to rest against the mat. Maybe the target for you is a little deeper, to bring one fist on top of the other and let the forehead rest. It might be that you've got the flexibility in the hips or the hamstrings, that you can bring the forehead onto the both hands stacked. That's just a little bit too far for me. I can just about demonstrate it, but it's not comfortable for me. And again, we're hanging around in this space, allowing the breath to guide us to where we need to be to soften. We're not in any rush to come out of this posture. And we're just noticing a slightly deeper stretch to the back of the hamstrings, to the inner thighs. Then repositioning the hands under the shoulders and walking the hands back again towards the ankle. Perfect. I'm just going to point this out. Miriam has actually done that whole thing in half lotus. I don't know how you've done that. I'd break my ankles if I was in that. No, just in front. Nothing happened. She didn't snap her ankles, but it did look a little bit uncomfortable. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, shrug, let them go. I've set Louise off now, she's giggling. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. So with this nice space we created through the chest, bring the hands behind the hips. Keep that width through the chest, that lift in the sternum. Keep the tummy button drawn in. Lift the sternum and draw your gaze up towards the ceiling. Perfect. Then bring the gaze forward once more. Try to keep the underside of the chin parallel to the floor. We're now going to come onto the flats of the palms, press the shins forward, lift the bottoms from the mat. and continue into a deeper opening. So because we did that hip flexor opening earlier, this will feel a little bit more accessible. Then reset the sit bones onto the mat. Inhale to lift, come back to center. Switch the leg crossover, so we've got opposite foot in front, behind. Your choice whether you come into the easy pose. If the knees are tight, you might have them up here, or if again you want to restack into Sadasana. I find it a little bit harder on this side. Bring the hands either side of the hips. Extend the right arm away, lift and lengthen through the left. So there's a moment here where it feels like you're kind of twisting out of shape. So draw the shoulder blades together, keep the chest open forward. Bring that right elbow down towards the floor. Bring the left arm up and overhead. So we're almost curving that arm over the top, ear lining up with the upper arm, pressing through the fingertips. Make sure the sit bones remain square so that when you do this final push through the fingertips, you get a deeper stretch at the side of the waist into the rib cage. Inhale, lift, come back to center. Wide through the chest, inhale to open, exhale to sink, inhale to press forward, exhale to release the elbow to the floor, and there's a little stray hand in the picture. Keep pressing through the fingertips. Then inhale, lift, come back to center. Right hand parks behind the right hip, left hand comes onto the right knee, lift up and lengthen. Use the right side of the rib cage to begin a little half twist. Shoulder blades drawn together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze a little more deeply. Then when you let go, we're going to bring the arms overhead, drawing the shoulders back to center, creating a Y shape. Exhale, opposite hand to opposite knee. Inhale, lift up, shoulder blades drawn together. Take a couple of breaths to get yourself into this full twist. Beautiful. Then release and come back to center. So we're going to extend the left leg. We're going to park the inside of the right foot to the inner thigh and just ease off any cramp in the toe because it will distract you. I don't think I drink enough on a Thursday, nor do I, not a Thursday, a Wednesday, nor do I move around enough, which is why I ultimately get cramp in my foot. Okay, so as we did a moment ago, we did a kind of like a lift and a twist. So we're going to do that twist again, lining up the sternum over the bent knee. Then bring the hands either side of that knee. And in the same way that we did before, we'll bring the elbows towards the floor so that we're folding the belly onto the thigh. Avoid at all costs lifting the left buttock off the floor. So the sit bones remain square. And we lift, 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 and we fold. So we're pushing that right sit bone to the, or that left sit bone to the floor. Then push up and walk the hands back again to center. Okay, variation on a theme. We're going to take hold of the extended leg, lift up with the opposite arm, then exhale, come over, turn and tuck the chin into the armpit, extend a little more deeply into this space. Inhale, lift, come back to center. So opposite leg, extend the opposite leg from the sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh. Make sure the extended leg always has that toe pointing up. There's that moment where we do the little half twist, so we're lining up the sternum over the bent knee. Hands either side of the knee. As you exhale, keep the sit bone on the floor. So it's going to feel really tight in here. And the idea is to bring the elbows to the floor rather than bending the elbows back or lifting the shoulders. It's harder on that side for me, tighter on that leg. Then push into the palms of the hands, walk the hands back to center. So you're taking the hand to reach for the extended leg, lifting up, exhaling over. And then when you turn and tuck the chin into the armpit, it just gives a little reminder really to rotate the side of the rib cage up towards the ceiling. Then inhale, lift, come back to center. Extend both legs. So you know through your practice whether you need that little bit of extra space behind your knees. The worst culprit here is rolling back into the tailbone. That doesn't help, it stops us from moving. So give yourself plenty of lift out of the sit bones. Try to keep the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. In fact, grab your brick. I'm going to take it to the highest setting. I'm going to just bring the forearms forward and pop that highest brick setting underneath the forehead. So you're not having to focus on folding forward. What you're very aware of is that big stretch that's happening at the back of the hamstrings, and I'm not going to pretend that that's automatically going to happen. So if you need both bricks, create yourself a little structure to make it more achievable. It's just so that you're not overdoing the shoulders, that the upper body's relaxed. Think again about a diagonal from the back of the head to the tailbone. Beautiful. Then bring the hands under the shoulders, push into the palms, engage the core, sit back up into center. Perfect. So we're going to continue to use the bricks. I'm now going to bring you into an all fours position, but we're actually going to do a lunge pose. So I'll kind of come into the position first and show you where we're going to end up. So we start in all fours. For the purposes of the camera, I'm going to bring my right knee forward, so that's my upstaged leg, which is easier for you to see. And I'm going to bring a brick nice and tall to stand to the inside of that foot. So probably in line with the shoulder. Perfect. Then I just want you to take your body weight forward. So it's like you're sinking your hips towards the floor and just rest on the top of the foot rather than the toe. And as we did earlier, we're starting to feel a little bit of action here in the hip flexor. So that might be enough for you, or it might be that you want to take that brick a little lower. There are different settings that you can go to, so you don't have to go all the way down to the flattest setting. You can come here, you can come here, or if you wish, you can just bring your hands to the floor, lifting the sternum forward. We call this one lizard pose. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together so you're nice and deep into this posture. Bring yourself back to center, scoop the right leg round, bring the opposite leg forward. I've learned over the years that I never assume that if I can do it on one side, I can do it on the other. So I'm going to go through exactly the same process, just resting on the top of the foot rather than turning the toe under. Beautiful. And with every exhale, we're just driving that hip a little deeper forward. And a little lower. Just lower again. And if it feels like it, you can bring the palms to the floor. Beautiful. Then bring yourself back. Bringing yourself back to an all fours position. I'm just going to move the bricks so that we don't obscure the view. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, elbows nice and soft. Turn both toes under, exhale to roll up through the spine. Give yourself some nice relief in the lower back. So notice if you're just curving where you would normally curve in the upper back. Lift from the belly button, push the lower back towards the ceiling. As you exhale, rest on the tops of the feet. As you inhale, lift the sternum forward. Take that curve all the way the opposite way. So we're exhaling to roll up, tucking the chin to the chest, inhaling to lift forward. Coming back to a neutral spine, extending the palms forward, pressing into the palms, keeping the elbows soft but not locked, pushing the sit bones back towards the heels. For now, we're just going to level the ears between the upper arms, so we don't want to be pushing that head to the floor. Rather than lifting the shoulders, think about pushing the sit bones back and redistributing the length of the spine. Good. Resting on the top of the feet. Beautiful. Lower the elbows, inhale, lift the sternum forward, slide the thighs back. Easy to do when you're on a velvety mat. And we're just going to lift straight into Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders, palms set, shoulder width distance apart. For a moment again, just check that the buttocks are soft. Lift the sternum as you exhale, elbows down. Turn and look over one shoulder. As you inhale, look ahead. Exhale to look over another shoulder. Inhale to look ahead. Then lower all the way down. Reposition the hands either side of the chest. Draw the elbows in so that we have control of the shoulder girdle. Push into the palms. Exhale, lengthen back. Inhale, lift forward. Keep the arms lifted as you draw the shoulders back and down. Exhale, press back. So we've lifted now into cobra pose rather than sphinx. We're adding a little bit of motion to this posture, a little bit of vinyasa flow. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, lifting the sternum, exhaling, releasing back. One more lift. This time on the exhale, turn the toes under, draw the tummy button in, walk the feet in, gently bring the heels to the floor, lift the tailbone, push up into a downward facing dog position. Keep pressing the sit bones to the back of the room, lifting the tailbone, creating length through the spine, visualizing that we're making an upside down V position. Your choice whether you take hold of the foot and place it forward. Then bring that back shin to the floor. Beautiful. Lift the hands off the mat. Come into a lunge posture. So we want to make sure that this front knee is a 90-degree angle, that this back thigh is nice and lengthened. We've opened that hip flexor. Try not to be 90 degrees. Lift the arms overhead, ears between the upper arms. Lift through the sternum first. Turn your gaze up towards the ceiling, gently opening through the spine. Then as you exhale, hinge forward. Bring the palms to the floor. Turn the right toe under, strike the left foot back. Come into a plank. Diagonal line from shoulder through hip to heel. Then lowering down. Knees, chest, chin, bottom is up. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, turn the toes under. Lift up into that downward facing dog. 3 full breaths here. One further full breath rotation. Then on the inhalation, bring that back leg forward. Beautiful. Open into the hip flexor. Lift up into the lunge. Shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. As you exhale, hinge forward. No more planks. Turn that back toe under. Strike that foot in. So we're standing. Knees bent. Upper body soft. Just relax. Hang. Hang there for a moment. Beautiful. Can you get the back of the hands onto the floor? Tucking the chin under. Bending the knees if you need to. Can you bring the palms of the hands to the floor? Widen the arms. Push down into the soles of the feet. Engage the core. Inhale, push into the feet, unhinge. Exhale, lift the arms overhead. Inhale, lift your gaze up towards the thumbs. Keep the thighs where they are, lift the sternum, ease back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the hands to an Anjali Mudra at your heart space. So in this standing position, you can bring your hands by your side if you think that will be more comfortable for you. You can decide whether you want to soften your gaze or close the eyes. But I want you to just find your balance in this standing position. If you're happy to do so, close the eyes, soften the gaze. Inhale for a moment to squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. As you exhale, shrug, let the shoulders go. Inhale to squeeze the shoulders up. This time on the exhale, roll the shoulders back and down and turn the palms open towards the front of the room. So you really get a sense that you're drawing the shoulder blades together, widening through the collarbones. Take your full attention down through the length of your body into the soles of your feet. Bring your full attention to the sole of the right foot. Imagine you're setting down a root through the sole of your right foot, allowing that root to grow and secure into the earth beneath you. Now bring your focus all the way down through the left leg, through the sole of the left foot. And again, we really want that sense of setting a root down into the earth so that you feel really secure and grounded here. So sometimes when you feel secure and grounded, you might notice that your body starts to move. That's okay. Just let your body work with the energy flowing through, but try to retain your balance. Pay attention to lining up the back of the head with the back of the heels, to keeping the underside of the chin parallel to the floor, so that you're not tipping the head up towards the ceiling. You can feel the weight of your arms keeps the shoulders soft. We just want to check in that we're not tempted to push the hips forward here. So mindfully draw the thighs back, tuck the tailbone under. Feel that little engagement happen in the core. It might be that you want to feel that you're lifting the pelvic floor. And we've just created a little extra length in the spine. Once more, we want to bring the tongue to rest in the well of the mouth. Deepening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation. Sometimes just keeping your eyes closed in upright position can be the biggest challenge. Now take a moment to blink the eyes open. Notice the body is cooled down a little. So we're just going to take the feet a little wider apart. We still feel connected, grounded into the floor, quite heavy through the soles of the feet. We're going to soften the knees. And we're just going to have a little bit of travel through the ankles, through the knees, through the hips, into the shoulders. You can just travel as deeply as you like, just to get all of that energy moving through the body so that you're not holding it tight in the lower back or at the back of the knees. Bring yourself to stand in center. Inhale to lift the arms overhead. As you exhale, you're going to bend the knees and bring your arms down by your side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Throw it away. 2 more. Last one. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Bring the palms together. Anjali Mudra. Avoid locking the knees out. Tip the pelvis gently forward. Press the thighs gently back, tucking the tailbone down. Engage the core. Bring the hands back to heart center. Touch to the head for kind thoughts. To the lips for kind words. And to the heart for kind intentions. The light in me honours the light in you. Namaste. I'll just press pause on the recording.